There are certain things in life that you do not want to handle yourself. Surgery, for example, electrical work, and legal work, I believe, would fall into that category as well. Thankfully, today we have an expert coming to us from our town, Watseka. Her name is Susan Tungate. She is a retired judge and an attorney. And Ms. Tungate, thank you for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Sinclair. It's a pleasure to be here.
Please call me Tim. Mr. Sinclair is definitely my father. So
well, then you can call me Susan. That'll be fine.
Sounds good. So you were on the bench for a couple of decades, I understand it, and have retired and moved back into law. What made that transition for you?
Well, my husband had some medical issues, and I came in to, quote, help out, and I was a little bored cleaning closets. You only so much do when you retire. And people were saying, aren't you coming back? Aren't you coming back? Well, it was just going to be for a little while. Now I'm back into it, and I love it. So
I think most of us do what we do because we like helping people in some way, shape, or form. Maybe that's simply entertaining them or doing something more significant in their lives. You do that in a number of forms when it comes to wills and things that a lot of us don't like to think about, but are very important. Talk to me about sort of how that process works and why it's so important.
Well, right now with this COVID-19, everything's so uncertain. People don't know if they're going to be stricken with this horrible virus, whether they'll survive it, if they are. Also, you're not sure about your job. You're not sure about what you're going to do with your house. There's a lot of different things that you need to approach. But we'll start with the wills. Now, a lot of people think, I don't have anything. I don't need to write a will. And then something happens, and their survivors are left with a mess. This is particularly true of younger people who have small children. They may not own a mansion. They may not own a house. But they may have life insurance policies. They may have a whole variety of things that they don't really understand there's a value to it. It's important that they write a will. A simple will doesn't take that much to do. Now, I've had people come in here where their relatives have written a will off of the internet. And usually it doesn't work so well. We try to work, well, we have no choice. We have to work with what they've done. But a will provide, you can even mention if something happened to you and your spouse, how you would want the children taken care of. A lot of times we'll talk to people who have children. I know you don't think you have much, but if we put a little trust in for the kids and we mention who it is that you'd like to have take care of them, that gives some guidance. You can dispose of your property that way. Some people want, and you get older, they want to make gifts. They want to get the property out of their estate. And of course, most of us want to avoid probate, that awful word you have to pay money to file. When I started, it was like $125, and I think the filing is almost $400 or $500 now just to get into court.
Is this a scary process for people? Is it simply the unknown? What is it that you think is the hang up for most of us who go, I'm going to push that off for a while?
It's going to cost too much. I don't really need it. I don't understand why I have to have it. Those are the two most common. And I don't know whether the fear of it costing too much or the big one is, am I really going to die? People have a tough time.
That one I can answer. The answer is yes.
I know. I don't know anybody who survived the whole thing, and it's kind of hard to handle when you're young. You don't think about it. It's just younger people. Go ahead.
Tell me about the law school that you're working on or have worked on in the past. I don't want to run out of time before you share a little bit about how you're teaching people to know what they need to know and do what they need to do.
Well, for over 20 years, through the help of the Illinois State Bar Association, the Watseka Library, there's been other places where we've held, even a county building, we've held classes. They're about an hour and 20 minutes, and we have a speaker come and explain. It could be about a will. It could be about a power of attorney, why it's important to have a power of attorney if you're not able to take care of yourself. It could be about tax ramifications. It could be about how you buy or sell a house, child custody, divorce, you name it. We have tried to have something every time about it. So it varies from time to time, but we always had it in person before. But right now, that's not going to work so well. So the members of the Bar Association are working on a presentation that will be on the internet. We aren't really sure how we're going to do it. We're going to use Zoom or use whatever it is. We might be able to have some people go with appropriate spacing, as they say, social distancing, in the room so they can be there. And we would have a way that people could ask questions through Zoom. So that's basically it. But we've been doing that for years. When we started there, I forget, there were probably 40 some different counties that did it. And we're the only ones that have survived. And the Illinois State Bar Association is very proud of the fact that we have. We've gotten really good results from it and wonderful response.
Well, thank you for doing what you're doing for the community and for coming back to practice law after so many years on the bench. We will point people your direction if they have questions about how to get these things done for themselves.
Well, the Iroquois County Bar Association, we have several members, are all interested in participating in the law school for the public. Okay?
Good. Well, that sounds like you got a good team built, and thanks again so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Absolutely. If you have more questions about how to get things done on your end when it comes to wills and getting your life in order, so to speak, we will connect you at our website, which is ciliving.tv.